Now on to the point. Proposed age restrictions on anti-aging skincare.
It comes with its own set of health risks.
I mean, talk about a nanny state.
Why some are calling this newly proposed bill government overreach. Teachers in Rockland calling out sick. Rumors spreading. What has teachers upset? Sounding the alarm over this year's cherry crop.
It's hard for us economically to make it year to year.
The challenges facing farmers. The CHP's new strategy for catching speeders and reckless drivers that you may not see coming. And on the back roads of the Delta.
This is the Mozart Suite, which is the master suite.
A historic mansion you don't want to miss.
Good evening. As always, thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. Could teens need an ID just to buy skincare products? Well, if it's up to one state lawmaker, the answer is yes. A bill making its way through the legislature would ban the sale of certain anti-aging skincare products to minors. And the proposed legislation has stirred quite the conversation, especially in our own editorial meeting this morning. So I want to go ahead and bring in ABC 10's Becca Hodbecker, who's joining us now with the arguments for and against this bill.
Alex, the bill's author says it's meant to protect children's young, sensitive skin from the harsh chemicals found in those anti-aging products. But critics say this amounts to government overreach.
Check out products marketed as anti-aging or wrinkle-reducing on the store shelf, and you'll probably see chemicals like retinoids and alpha-hydroxy acids.
Anti-aging is literally anything exfoliating, usually.
Susie Kersner is a skincare specialist at Pretty Please Aesthetics. She's also a mom.
I have a 13-year-old daughter who constantly wants to go to Ulta and Sephora and do all the things that she saw on TikTok, but young skin does not function like older skin does. And so I'm constantly trying to steer her and her friends away from like the skincare. I'm like, just buy the makeup.
It's a recent trend on social media, with some influencers encouraging the use of anti-aging products, typically used on more mature skin, for teens and preteens.
It comes with its own set of health risks that can cause from mild things like blisters and irritation to long-term skin damage.
Democratic Assemblymember Alex Lee has seen this trend and last year introduced a bill to ban the sale of anti-aging products to minors. The bill died in committee, so he introduced it again this year, AB 728. It would include vitamin A and its derivatives, such as retinoids and alpha-hydroxy acids.
There are no protections in place for kids on these products.
In a recent hearing for the bill, Lee brought as a witness 11-year-old Scarlett, who says anti-aging products damaged her skin. She bought them after seeing influencers use them on social media.
Kids shouldn't be able to buy products that can hurt our skin. Companies shouldn't be using other kids to sell us those products. They're using us to make money and they're hurting us.
But opponents say Lee's bill amounts to government overreach.
I mean, talk about a nanny state now having to card on these types of products where no other state in the country does this.
Rachel Michelin is president and CEO of the California Retail Federation. She says banning these products for minors could drive up costs for consumers, as enforcement and any possible legal action falls on retailers. She points out influencers are the ones behind this trend.
If he really wants to change it, then let's hold the social media companies accountable and hold the influencers accountable, because they're the ones who are truly benefiting on the backs of pushing these types of products.
The bill does not include prescriptions, just over-the-counter products, but Kersner says some teens use the products to treat acne, and she isn't sure banning the sale to minors is the right choice.
Just because you don't have severe cystic acne does not mean that you're not struggling with your skin when you're a teenager, and that's where over-the-counter products come in.
As for what's next, the bill is heading to the Assembly Appropriations Committee. And by the way, that's the same place it died last year. It's on the agenda for this coming Wednesday. Alex?
Thank you so much. It's Teacher Appreciation Week, but apparently teachers at Rockland High School are not feeling it. A large number of teachers were absent just yesterday, leaving many students and parents wondering what the issue is. Parents received an email from the Rockland Unified School District addressing a, quote, high volume of teacher absences. The email also said in part, during the impact of teacher absences, administrators and support staff from across the school district are present. Many parents believe the absences were a coordinated sick out, a protest of the school board's decision to hire a new assistant principal the night before.
My government teacher wasn't there, and she was protesting. Can't be mad, but I had a presentation in that class, and I'm almost in the final, so it's just like one of these things that's like falling apart towards the last few weeks of school.
The teachers union tells ABC 10 the absences were not a sanctioned event, and the district tells ABC 10 teacher attendance returned to normal on Friday. President Trump says that he is open to cutting the 145% tariff on China. It's ahead of the start of a crucial negotiation this weekend. ABC's Perry Russum is in Washington with more tonight.
President Trump today signaling he is open to lowering the tariffs on China. Trump posting online, 80% tariff on China seems right. Up to Scott B. Scott Besson is the Treasury Secretary. It would be a steep drop from the 145% tariff China now faces.
As for the 80% number, that was a number the president threw out there, and we'll see what happens this weekend.
This weekend, the start of crucial tariff negotiations between the U.S. and China in Switzerland. Besson arriving in Geneva this morning. China's vice premier meeting with the president of Switzerland today. It will be the first time the U.S. and China meet face-to-face to negotiate tariffs, the first step in possibly de-escalating the trade war between the world's largest economies.
The president still remains with his position that he is not going to unilaterally bring down tariffs on China. We need to see concessions from them as well.
What does a win look like out of these meetings for the president this weekend?
A good deal for the American worker and the American people.
Trump calling on China to open its markets to the U.S., posting online, closed markets don't work anymore.
When you talk about a closed country, that's a really closed country. And I think it would be great if it was opened up, give people a lot of choice, and would create a lot of jobs, a lot of everything.
The Trump administration is looking to use momentum from yesterday's trade deal with the United Kingdom. It's the first deal the U.S. has made, and it primarily impacts steel and cars in the UK. All right, next on To the Point. This year's cherry crop is in jeopardy. How farmers are navigating a roller coaster of a season.
It was a hot day today. We were well into the 90s across the valley. Sacramento and Stockton tied daily high temperature records, and it's going to be hot again tomorrow. Details after the break.
Plus, the Menendez brothers are one step closer to having their resentencing hearing to decide if they get out of prison. Leaders in San Joaquin County are collecting data to decide whether to request state assistance for cherry farmers. The county's agricultural commissioner started circulating a survey to farmers asking them about their cherry harvest. The data could be used to submit a request to the state for a cherry crop disaster declaration. In order to apply, crop damage must be over 30%. A disaster declaration would give financial help to farmers impacted. One Lodi farmer says that at many orchards in the area, trees have been producing much fewer cherries this season.
The talk amongst the industry is last summer, the summer of 2024, we had multiple days over 100 degrees, placed quite a bit of stress on these trees. And during pollination, there was quite a bit of rain, and more than the rain was there was quite a bit of wind.
It's not all bad news, though, because trees have been supporting less fruit. The surviving cherries are getting more nutrients. That means that this year's cherries might be actually bigger and sweeter. All right, let's take a look outside at your forecast. Brendan, I know you're tracking a weather impact alert, but some good news. It's going to be beautiful and cooler for Mother's Day, right?
It's significantly cooler by the time we get to Mother's Day. It was easily the hottest day of the year so far. 94 in Sacramento tied the daily high temperature record. Same story down in Stockton with 97. Did not quite get to the record there in Modesto today, but still middle 90s, quite warm. 95 Modesto, 91 Marysville, 94 Vacaville, 94 Fairfield, 86 in Auburn, 75 in South Lake Tahoe and Truckee. Temperatures 15 degrees or more above normal across Northern California today. Temperatures at the moment still in the 90s for many. 91 Marysville, 93 Sacramento, 89 in Elk Grove, 94 in Stockton, 95 Manteca, 93 in Modesto, 91 Vacaville, 92 in Fairfield, 70s and 80s in the foothills, 68 in South Lake Tahoe and 72 in Truckee. Not much in the way of a breeze this evening, a very light one, but that's going to be about it. The A's playing the Yankees by the first pitch. We're still looking at temperatures, though, near 90 degrees. Mid-80s by 8 o'clock towards the end of the game. We're going to be in those middle 70s, so no jacket needed tonight. It is definitely a warm one out there. Saturday morning temperatures, it's going to be a mild start. We are going to be in those middle 50s across much of the valley. 54 in Colusa, 56 in Sacramento, 55 in Vacaville and Fairfield, 60 in Stockton, 62 in Modesto, 60 in Jackson, 63 in Auburn, 40 in Truckee, 41 South Lake Tahoe, and another weather impact alert day tomorrow because those 90s are continuing. We're going to be in the low to mid 90s, maybe a couple degrees cooler tomorrow than today, but not by much. The difference for tomorrow, though, again, not much in the way of a breeze today, but look what happens tomorrow afternoon. By 3 o'clock or so, we already start to see a delta breeze developing. By 6 o'clock, it's a pretty strong onshore breeze. Look what happens, though, by the time we get to Sunday. This is going to be a much stronger wind, especially up in the high country. We could see gusts over 50 miles per hour across the Sierra, gusts over 25 to 35 here in the valley. And the other thing I'm tracking is a chance for some showers in the high country by the time we get to Monday, potentially a dusting of snow as well. So as we look at the foothills and the Sierra, windy Sunday, then those shower chances Monday and Tuesday here in the valley. Hot tomorrow, much cooler by Sunday, but it will be windy.
All right, thank you, Brendan. For more weather, be sure to download the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. Right now on the home screen, we actually have an extended weather forecast with also more on this early season heat if you want to get up to date, and that app is completely free to download to your TV. Still ahead, if you see a maroon colored car in your rearview mirror, it could be the CHP. Hear why they chose a new fleet of low profile vehicles. And also, we're taking you on the back roads. We're going out to the Delta, historic party mansion with a celebrity past. The resentencing hearing for the Menendez brothers will be moving forward. Attorneys for Eric and Lyle Menendez were in court today alleging the LA County District Attorney has been on a campaign against them. They also withdrew a motion to have the DA removed from the case. The judge today reviewed a risk assessment done by the parole board, which found both brothers have broken rules in prison. The judge, however, decided to go forward with the resentencing hearing, which is now set for Tuesday and Wednesday next week. The CHP rolled out a new fleet of vehicles this week, and they are not the typical black and white colors that we're all used to seeing. Reporter Answer Hassan explains the reason behind the new look.
Speeding shouldn't be a thrill, it's a threat, says CHP.
We're not naive. We know that people see the black and white. They decide this is the time to be 10 and 2, not on their phone, not driving fast. But when that patrol car goes away, that behavior comes out.
Sergeant Andrew Barkley says CHP is rolling out a new fleet of vehicles, modified with smaller lights, less prominent logos, and in 5 different colors, including blue and a reddish maroon. CHP says this will give them an important advantage by being able to blend into traffic and to crack down on what CHP calls video game style driving on highways.
By no means are we saying the behavior is caused by that. It's just sometimes the behavior is so careless, it reminds us of what we see in a video game.
According to the CHP, there are almost 400,000 crashes every year in California and close to 1,000 daily reports of reckless driving. In 30% of these cases, speed is a factor. Last year, CHP officers issued almost 18,000 citations to people driving over 100 miles an hour. CHP says the first 25 vehicles will be deployed all across California this week, one here in Contra Costa County. The other 75 will be rolled out by June.
The first pillar is, of course, road safety, particularly from an agency, right, that is part of the push to lessen the restraints on high-speed chases here in the city of Oakland.
Kat Brooks is the executive director of the watchdog group Anti-Police Terror Project. She's concerned about the increased spending on more policing tools and says research points to CHP officers being more likely to stop black and Hispanic people than white people. She suggests CHP's strategy with the new vehicles may lead to more of that.
Now they can catch people. They can pull more people over. They can give more people tickets. Let's talk about who they're going to catch and who they're going to pull over, right? Who gets caught and pulled over the most? Black and brown folks.
Well, you never know what you'll see on the back roads. And right now, John Bartel is taking us to the Delta to visit a luxurious and historic party house, the Grand Island Mansion.
Just 25 miles outside of Sacramento, near the town of Walnut Grove, there's an island with a lavish turn-of-the-century party house built for the rich and famous.
It's like stepping back in time because obviously people don't live like this anymore, and buildings like this are rare.
Greta Garbo, Earl Stanley Gardner, Sean Connery, Paul Newman, and just about every other celebrity that would make your grandma's knees shake has stayed here at the Grand Island Mansion.
So this is the stairway down into the main ballroom inside the mansion.
And if you want a tour of this hobnobbing hotspot, manager Elizabeth McEwen is your guide. She's been partying here since 1978.
So I was actually present when Ronald Reagan was here. He actually dined in that other dining room. President Roosevelt has visited in prior times.
Elizabeth says the Grand Island Mansion has been a place to rub shoulders since it was built in 1920.
And it was built by Lewis Myers, who was an orchardist, farmer, rancher.
Lewis Myers was good at two things, farming and entertaining, and that's why he built this 4-story, 24,000 square foot mansion for him and all his friends.
All the suites are named after famous composers. This is the Mozart suite, which is the master suite.
All of the 58 rooms in this mansion are ornately decorated with fine furniture, art, and beautiful craftsmanship. Lewis Myers wanted the best for his guests because back in the day, the Grand Island Mansion was kind of in the middle of nowhere with limited road access.
The main means of transportation back then was the waterways, you know, the Sacramento River, which is literally just 3 miles down the road here.
The Grand Island Mansion is in the middle of the California Delta, a massive web of waterways separating San Francisco and Sacramento. The islands in the Delta were prime real estate for farming because boats could easily transport harvested food and party people. But when the Great Depression hit in the 1930s, good times on the island ended for Lewis Myers.
Shortly after, the Great Depression, he died. The family ended up losing the home. And then after that, it changed hands many times.
After years of falling into disarray, some new owners renovated the mansion in the 1970s and figured out a way to get the parties going again.
I think it was in 1980 we started doing weddings.
Thanks to modern roads, the Grand Island Mansion is easy to get to, and revenue from weddings, celebrations, and even Sunday brunches pay to keep this luxurious party house open for everyone to enjoy.
And buildings like this are rare. It's been lovingly maintained.
From the Grand Island Mansion, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
To find more of Bartel's Backroads destinations on the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app, they are all under the Shows tab. Just scroll down to Travel, Bartel's Backroads, and that app is free to download straight to your TV. Still to come on To The Point ahead of this Mother's Day, we have the story of moms-to-be getting a special lesson in lullabies. With Mother's Day coming up this weekend, we want to show you an innovative program that supports expectant moms and delivers healthier babies. And it all starts with a song. It's called the Lullaby Project, where expectant moms learn how to make lullabies. The teaching artist for the project takes a group of native Spanish speakers on a journey to connect with their babies and each other. It was brought to the Alameda Health System as part of the Centering program, which is a prenatal and postpartum care that's been shown to reduce both babies being born too soon and too small.
That care and that connection, I think, is just enhanced because there's this deeper element of culture and celebration and joy and love that is really transmitted through music.
The Lullaby Project is going on 4 years now, and it's offered at hospitals across the Alameda Health System for qualifying patients. That is our show on this Friday. As always, thank you so much for watching and for inviting us into your home. If you have something that you think me and the team should be looking into, you already know what to do. You can always email us at tothepoint@abc10.com. And I also want to mention To The Point does not end here. If you want to watch stories that are featured on our show, just download our free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app straight to your TV. You can do it anytime, anywhere. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day, a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you right back here on Monday.